And we are live, Broncos country. Welcome into the Broncos Breakdown by Chat Sports. My name is Moose, and we have got a lot of great things to talk about as the Broncos are over the pond, governor, over in London to take on the New York Jets. We've got some interesting injury news that we've got to talk about, specifically to one defensive player that might see his way onto the field for the first time in 2025. We've got ourselves another player, a rookie this time, that also might make his season debut. And then, of course, a little mailbag just for you guys. Questions about the Broncos from Broncos fans just like you. Now, before we get started on with our show today, if you're going to be joining our early morning watch party, and we will go live 6:30 in the morning Mountain Time. That is early. But remember, they play at 7:30 in the morning Mountain Time on Sunday morning. So if you're going to be joining, do me a favor, hit that thumbs up icon and then type your me's, because you know what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you a shout out. If you're a real one, that is going to get in on our watch party.
What was that? What was the disease that you were talking about before we went on air? Because we got a LeBron James update.
What happened with LeBron James?
He's out 3 to 4 weeks.
With?
What was that illness or what you called it? I can't pronounce this.
Stingers?
No. What does that say?
Sciatica.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait, no, hold on. What does that say? Let me see.
I have no idea.
Sciatica?
I have no idea what that is.
I have never heard of that before in my life.
I've never heard of that in my life.
Never heard of it.
But LeBron James is out 3 to 4 weeks. But it is about the Broncos.
It is about the Broncos. Danny saying me. Chase saying me. What's up, Chase? Great to see you. Listen, I don't see enough people liking that video and typing their me's. Only 2 of them. That is not nearly good enough.
Hit that thumbs up icon. We got 60 people in here. What are we doing?
Listen to producer Alper on the 1s and 2s. I mean, don't listen to him when he's talking about Bo Nix, but listen to him every other time. Michael saying me. Sciatica. Yeah, okay. I think we were right. It's sciatica.
What is sciatica?
I know your sciatic nerve is down.
In your side?
No, in your tailbone. Yeah, it's right above your ass. Will, what's up? Maher saying me. Oh, yeah, okay. So, didn't it say it's in his neck?
No.
Oh, I thought it was, okay. It is
on his
sciatica.
right side.
Yeah, it's his lower back. Adam says, I'm in a tractor. Harvest. Me. Hell yeah, we're watching from tractors, brother. She thinks my tractor's sexy. It really turns her on. What's up, Nathaniel? Tegan saying, yo, what up? Hey, Aaron just got in here already, like the post. Come on, people, like it up. Absolutely. Go Broncos, brother. Yeah, sciatica does suck. It's a nasty feeling. It's a nasty feeling. We got 33 likes already. I love to see it. Hey, by the way, today's mega deal, we're still trying to fill up the helmet, guys. If you want this helmet to get raffled off, we got to fill it up. And here's the deal today. I went down, cut that in half for you. $10 will get your name on the helmet. Your sticker will go on the helmet, which means you are automatically in for the Denver Broncos Snow Cap Throwback Helmet Raffle. So if you want the chance to have this unbelievable Denver Broncos helmet inside of your home, on your mantle, in your man cave, wherever it is, maybe it's on your dining room table. I don't know. Maybe you want to put flowers in that helmet. All you got to do is send in a little $10 bill today, a little $10 super chat, and that will get your name on the helmet immediately. I've got my stickers ready to go. I've got my pen ready to sign. We're good to go. JP, I appreciate the kind words, my friend. Thank you. So 61 people rocking with us today. Remember, $10 to get your name on that helmet. We're about, it's take a look here. Well, I would say we're about 25 to 30% filled on this helmet,
That's
wouldn't
what
you
it
say?
looks like,
Yeah, I'd say about 25 to 30% filled.
But you don't want to cover the old
No,
school
we're not
Broncos
going
logo.
to cover the logos.
Yeah.
I said just the white. Just the white. We're going to touch the white.
Touch the white.
Touch the white. We're going to fill up the white. There we go. Cornbread. Cornbread coming in with the $10 super chat.
I got to get those.
Where the heck is my pen? There it is. It fell on the ground. Cornbread. I'm signing your name right now, brother. I got you. Cornbread.
Who doesn't love me some cornbread?
Oh, I love cornbread, dude. Cornbread is so good. You know what's funny is I didn't have cornbread. This is a true fact, by the way. I did not have a single bite of cornbread until I was in high school. Isn't that crazy?
Well,
I was like 15 years old.
They used to give you cornbread during like your elementary school Thanksgiving lunches.
Yeah,
and it was disgusting.
But when I was a kid, I never ever had it.
Well, I took a bite and I was like, "This is dry and this is terrible." But then when you actually
have good cornbread, yeah, it's awesome. There we go. Cornbread, you are in, my friend. Thank you for the $10 super chat. You can be like cornbread and get yourself on the helmet. He says, I'm in. Yes, you are, cornbread. It puts you on the helmet, which means you can win that helmet. And the only way you can win the helmet is if you are on the helmet. So $10 will get you on the helmet today. Carlos coming in with another 10. I got to add Carlos on now. Carlos Worrell. Or Worrell, maybe. It's either Worrell or Worrell. Yanni or Laurel? Laurel.
What was it? Green whatever?
Green Needle.
Green Needle.
Green Needle. Carlos, you are on, my friend. Tegan says, do you think we need to bench Riley Moss? Did you see the video that I put out yesterday? I do think it is time to bench Riley Moss. And here's why. I know a lot of people are going to sit here because I saw them all in the comments yesterday. Everybody was getting in the comment section talking about, by the way, Carlos, thank you so much for your $10 super chat. Everybody was sitting there talking about how I was wrong, Riley Moss is good, and it's just because he plays on the opposite end of Pat Surtain. But there are so many different metrics and statistics that are proving that Riley Moss is not playing well this year. In fact, it's his worst season as the Broncos' outside corner. Since he was drafted, this is his worst start to the season. He's got the second most air yards given up. It's almost half of what he gave up the entirety of last year. He's the second most targeted cornerback in the NFL. I mean, I can go on and on and on. His passer rating, his opponent passer rating is good. However, he's giving up way too many chunk plays. So I just think that it's time to not bench him. I'm not saying we need to bench him and not play him. I think people get that confused. When you say bench, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're not going to play. But I would bring him in as a rotational corner.
And also, Tegan, use hashtag Broncos when you're typing out those questions.
Facts.
Got a mailbag.
Got a mailbag today. Hashtag Broncos or Super Chat. So, on today's show, we're going to talk about the good news on Malcolm Roach, which is very, very positive and encouraging stuff, considering he traveled with the team today. He got activated. He practiced today, and Sean Payton said he looked pretty good. So could we see our first Malcolm Roach sighting for this Week 6 matchup against the worst team in the NFL? Q Robinson also maybe making his debut for the Denver Broncos. It is entirely possible. Vance Joseph talked a little bit about Q Robinson today, said he had a couple of really good practices, and with the injury to Jonah Ellis, you might see Q Robinson step on the field for the very first time as a Denver Bronco, not in the preseason, of course. And then, of course, our mailbag. Use hashtag Broncos or Super Chat like our buddy Tony did just now with his $10. Tony West getting on the helmet. Tony West.
Shout out, Tony. You guys are great. Keep up the great work. And you can finish that
sentence for me. And go Broncos! Gotta love it. Tony West, you are on the helmet. I love it. $30. And remember, this deal goes on for the remainder of the live stream. So if you don't want to give right now and you're like, maybe I'll give a little bit later, that's totally fine as well. You just got to do it before we click the end of today's stream. Shout out to Tony, shout out to Carlos, and shout out to Conebread. All right. You guys ready to get started? If you're ready to get started, type your DENs in the live chat right now. Let's go. Get those DENs going in the live chat before we get started. We got 90 people rocking with us right now. We need those DENs to get the show started because, like I said, we got some good news to talk about when it comes to our guy, Malcolm Roach.
Are we ready?
As soon as we get us a couple of DENs going, yeah.
Spam those DENs!
I just need a couple more. I don't need like a billion of them. I just need a couple of them.
Underwater Girl, use hashtag Broncos when you're asking that.
Under the sea, darling, it's better down where it's wetter. Take it from me. What do they got? A lot of sand. We got a hot crustacean band. All right, you ready to do this, Alper? Pinky saying 35-13. That is my lock of the week, by the way. The Broncos will win by more than 15 points. That's my lock of the week.
Bet on it, bet on it.
I am betting on it.
Bet on it.
Guess what? My dad's in Chicago right now. First text he sent me, I landed. Second text he sent me, send me your parlay. All right, let's do this. Let's talk Malcolm Roach and the Denver Broncos and some good news surrounding our boy, Mr. Roach, and if we could see him for the first time on the field this Sunday. You're good.
All right, let's do it.
Let's do it. It is a good day to be a Denver Broncos fan. Coming off of the win against the Philadelphia Eagles last Sunday, now making our trip all the way across the pond to play in London, where we take on, statistically, the very worst team in the NFL. Broncos country, welcome in to today's show, Broncos Breakdown by Chat Sports. On today's episode, not only are we going to go over some keys to victory over the New York Jets, but the Denver Broncos got really good news on this guy right here, Mr. Malcolm Roach. In fact, the Denver Broncos Twitter account, their official Twitter account, said we have designated Malcolm Roach for return from the IR. Now, you're probably thinking right off the bat, oh my God, he's going to play against the Jets. Not so fast, my friend. Essentially, when you designate someone to return from the IR, you've got 3 weeks where you open up their practice window. In that 3 weeks, you can determine to bring them back up to the active 53-man roster, or if you determine that they're not ready yet, then you can hold them for that next 3 weeks. But if after that 3 weeks they're still not ready, they have to go on season-ending IR. Now, before we talk about what it looked like from a practice perspective for Mr. Roach, this is exactly why you sub. I'm going to give you 365 full days of Denver Broncos coverage, completely 100% free. You're going to get watch parties for Broncos games like this coming Sunday at Tottenham Stadium. Some sweet Broncos gear to win, and that is exactly why you need to hit that sub button right now. So, before we get into Malcolm Roach, I do think some other injury news is worth noting. Jonah Ellis has not practiced for the second straight day. Now, you might be thinking, oh my God, that's a massive loss. Well, on the defensive side of the football, he hasn't been nearly as active this year as I would have liked, but he has been a special teams monster. I mean, he has one of the highest PFF grades of any special teams player for the Denver Broncos. There has been multiple plays on special teams, both in the punt and kick return game, where he has just been an absolute unit. But this is more about Malcolm Roach, who does have the opportunity to come back and play this Sunday. Sean Payton basically said about Roach's practice today, he had some good work today. Now, I think we know a little bit about Sean Payton, right? He'll go out and he'll say this, and we'll think it means this, but then sometimes it doesn't. I mean, look at the whole Dre Greenlaw situation, right? He went out telling us, oh, it's no big deal. He's on our timeline, and then boom, hits us with short-term IR. So I don't necessarily know what he had good work today means outside of he had a good practice. That might be all it means. is that Malcolm Roach had a good practice. Either way, this is a good bit of news for the Broncos because he has been activated, which is more than you can say for the last couple of weeks. He did have a good bit of work to do today, and when you play him, good things happen. This is a guy that is an absolute stud, and having him on this defensive line rotation will mean great things for the Denver Broncos. I truly believe that because one of the areas the Denver Broncos, statistically speaking, have suffered in this year, and not suffered it, but haven't been nearly as good, is the run-stopping game. Well, Malcolm Roach, that is what he's known for. He's a tree stump, a plug right in the middle, somebody to go right alongside John Franklin Myers and DJ Jones and stop the run. 5 tackles for loss, 2.5 sacks, and a PFF grade of 64.2 back in 2024. So I'm really looking forward to this guy getting back onto the field because I can highlight as many plays as I want. There's one specifically that just leaves me like, oh, God, I can't wait to see him back on the field. And this was last year against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in Week 3. That little circle you see right there is Bucky Irving and Malcolm Roach. Now, Malcolm Roach, right before this little shrug off of that tight end, comes off of the play design, which was kind of like a delay from the tight end, so he kind of scooted over in motion and tried to throw a block on Malcolm Roach, and literally Roach just kind of shrugs him off and throws him off of him and ends up making this tackle for loss. Why is that important? Well, you can pretty much bet your ass that the Jets are going to drive Breece Hall all game. He's literally one of 2 bright spots on their offense right now. The other one being Garrett Wilson. Outside of that, they have nobody. And I literally mean that. Like, no one. You can take a look at their wide receiver depth chart. Just get rid of Garrett Wilson for 1 second. Their number 2 is Josh Reynolds and then Alan Lazard, who both, I hope I'm being nice when I say this, they suck. They're not good. This team has a multitude, a litany of problems, and wide receiver is probably one of their glaring ones. So they're most likely going to attack you on the ground and pound. It might be the worst wide receiver room in the NFL. So what they're going to try to do is keep away from you. They probably are going into this game thinking, if we can run the ball 30-plus times and just milk the clock and just keep the Broncos offense off the field and just attack on the ground game, then maybe we have a shot to win this football game. Honestly, it's probably the smartest thing that you can do against the Denver Broncos, considering you don't have a good offensive line, which we'll touch on in a little bit. And Justin Fields is a dink and dunk type of quarterback. But let's focus on the defensive line one more time. This is what your potential rotation could look like. Zach Allen, DJ Jones, JFM, Nick Bonito, Defensive Player of the Year candidate, Jonathan Cooper, and then, of course, Malcolm Roach. You mean to tell me that front 6 right there, and honestly, it's front 5, but Malcolm Roach could swing in on a limited basis this week against a much inferior team and just get back into those playing reps. So, as kind of like a rotational defensive lineman, Malcolm Roach could get, 15 to 20 snaps this Sunday? Who would say no? Which is why I'm typing my thumbs up if I want Malcolm Roach to play, which I do. I'm smashing that thumbs up icon. If you want to see the Roach back in action this Sunday against the New York Jets, do me a favor, hit that thumbs up icon. Now, coming up here in just a little bit, we're going to talk some more keys to victory and what I've seen from the New York Jets on tape and why, trust me when I say this, it is horrendous to watch. But before we do that, I got to tell you about today's presenting sponsor, and that is Prize Picks. You and I make decisions every single day, but on Prize Picks, being right can actually get you paid. You don't want to miss any of the excitement this football season on Prize Picks, where it is good to be right. By the way, did you know that you can now follow other Prize Picks players directly on the app and copy their lineups in just one click? Whether it's a friend, a celebrity partner, or just someone whose picks you love. Hit that follow button and check out every lineup they create in the new feed tab only on Prize Picks. I should have a lineup in there, producer Alper. It should be in the photo section down a little bit lower. I think it's there. I definitely do think it's there. If it's not, I'll just tell. There it is right there. Boom. See, I told you. I made a lineup. Here's what it looks like. Jalen Hurts, the more of the passing yards tonight on Thursday Night Football. J.K. Dobbins, I think, is going to feast on a bad New York Jets defense. Drake May taking the more for producer Alper because I had to get it in for him. And then Dak Prescott got the more on the passing yards as well. You know I'm a glutton. You know I love to take the more. Yours can look completely different than this, though. All you got to do is download the Prize Picks app today. Use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It is good to be right. Keys to victory. Let's go. Number 1, do not fall into the trap game. I don't think any Broncos fan needs to be told this, but I'll remind you anyway. You are a better team than the New York Jets. Okay, glad we got that out of the way. It's obvious the Broncos are a better squad. From front to back, top to bottom, whatever you want to call it. They're a better team. But you got to keep the same Eagles mentality overseas. Why? Because if you go in thinking that this is just a piss-away game, you don't have to put in the time, you don't have to put in the effort because you are a better team than the New York Jets, that's where trap games come in. And next thing you know, you look up at the scoreboard and you're like, holy shit, the Jets are up and it's 17-13 and we got 5 minutes left in the game and now we got to turn it on. Especially because they do have 3 playmakers, right? So it's not like the Jets are a complete and total dumpster fire, just 99% dumpster fire. The 1% are these 3 players right here. Justin Fields, who is a hell of an athlete, maybe not a great quarterback. Breece Hall, who's a very, very good running back, and Garrett Wilson, who is a stud wide receiver. Outside of those 3 on offense, it's slim pickings. So don't fall into the trap game of thinking it's just the Jets because this is an any given Sunday league. These are NFL caliber players. You just don't want to go in thinking you've got it locked up. Let's go to number 2. How about stop the penalties? Please, for the love of Christ, stop the penalties. I don't know what the problem is with this team, but we continually say you've got to be more disciplined. You got to stop the penalties, and yet they keep committing them. In fact, it's gotten worse statistically on the penalties. The Broncos have the second most penalty yards in the NFL right now behind the New York Giants. The Giants have 424. You have 411. That's pathetic. And we're 3-2, should be 5-0. But the penalties cost us in a lot of these games. Cost us against the Chargers and cost us a bunch against the Colts as well. So at worst, you should be 4-1. But 30 out of 52 penalties, by the way, are on the road. That's just undisciplined. There is no advanced metric. There is no advanced stat for you to look into. This is just being more disciplined. You cannot make the mental mistakes. Period. This team is too talented. It's too good. And I truly believe that as talented as we are, if you continue to make the penalties, this will kill you when you make the playoffs. Trust me. There have been multiple games from multiple teams many years in a row where a team gets penalized 10 or 11 times in a playoff game and they lose. And that's when you do not want to have your messy football. Key to victory number 3, attack the defensive line. Not the Broncos' defensive line, the Jets' defensive line. It's not good. It's really, really bad. The gosh darn Jets, because I don't want to say the other word. 140 rushing yards allowed per game. That's 27th in the NFL. 31.4 points per game allowed. That's 31st in the NFL. And 207 passing yards allowed per game, which is actually 13th. So when you look at these statistics, what is the one glaring thing that stands out to you? They can't stop the run, which is why I took my prize picks more on J.K. Dobbins. The only player on that defense right now that I think actually has the talent to kind of lock you up is Sauce Gardner. He is the highest paid cornerback in the NFL, but I'm going to be completely honest with you. This year, he's taken a major step back from years past. 2 years ago, he was a top 5 corner in the league. It was him, Surtain, Ramsey, Jalen Johnson, and Stingley. That's the other one. But now Sauce Gardner is barely top 10 in my opinion. But on any given Sunday, he has the ability to lock you up. So Bo Nix has one player to watch out for, and that's Sauce Gardner. Outside of that, you can pretty much attack this Jets defense any which way. They're really, really bad right now on defense and offense. Before we get on out of here, the final question I'm going to ask you. what is the biggest key to victory for the Broncos? For me, honestly, it's the penalties. Like, please just clean it up. You know what would be really great to see? If the Broncos won by 3 touchdowns and we looked in the penalty box and they only had 4 penalties all game, 1 per quarter, I'd be fine with that. But you let me know in the comment section down below. That is our keys to victory on today's episode. A reminder. Oh, shit, no. You're right. I'm sorry. I apologize. All right, take 2, Broncos country. That's my bad. We have one more. If all else fails, rely on the defense. Again, this is pretty common knowledge here. The Broncos defense is the major strength of their team, right? Like, we can all agree on that. It's a major mismatch. You're going up against the worst offensive line in the NFL and the best pass rush in the NFL. Like, come on. Like, we can call a spade. And while we don't want to fall in the trap game, we can at least acknowledge that the Broncos defensive line and this pass rush is clearly the best in the NFL going up against the worst offensive line. Like, we don't need to say anything else outside of that. The Broncos front 5 is outstanding, right? You've got the potential player of the year in Nick Bonito, who has more sacks than like 6 teams in the NFL just by himself. Jonathan Cooper, his Robin, Zach Allen, DJ Jones, Franklin Myers, and then maybe Malcolm Roach. So, I'm going to be completely honest with you. This should be an easy W for the Denver Broncos, but in any given Sunday league, anything can happen. So go in with the right mentality, kick the living you-know-what out of the New York Jets, and let's ride back to the States at 4-2. That will actually do it. Before we get on out of here, I'll ask you who you got. Broncos or Eagles, apparently. Do me a favor. Type your NYJs if it is the New York Jets. And if it is the Broncos, type your DENs. I should see a million DENs right there. That will finally do it, actually, this time on today's episode. A reminder to always be cool. Mile high salute to you. Let's go. God, that was brutal. What the hell was I doing? I got to look at my freaking script every once in a while.
You got a whole lot of key to victory to go.
Oh, God. Yeah. Had one entire key to victory, and I was basically just kind of like, it's the Jets.
Said rely on the D, and I'm like, you got to say it.
Yeah. Damn. Ugh, that's terrible. Poor Moose. Poor Moose. That is kind of funny, though. That's the first time I've ever done that. I've tried to end an episode early. And you've got one more. Oh, damn. Danny's getting his DENs. Chase is getting his DENs. Odd is getting his DENs. Michael's getting his DEN. Pops, what up, Pops?
Pops, please.
Pops, please. Should have been gone. Got to rely on that D. Giggity. Giggity, giggity, goo.
Exactly, odd F. I saw Tony West had a question earlier.
What was Tony's question?
He said, can you get on the helmet twice?
Yeah. You can get on the helmet multiple times. It's just $10 today. Of course you can. Just send in another $10 super and you'll get right back on it, bad boy. Look at that. $10.
$10.
We got a bunch of people that are on here a bunch of times. Jack is on here like 50 times. Maybe not 50 total, but you get my point. Like, I'm being hyperbolic. Denver has this in the bag. See, Francisco, I never ever want to say that they've got something in the bag. You'd like to think on paper it's a lock, but, oh, God, I hate saying that. Like, you can say that the team is better because clearly the Broncos are. Your eyes can see that. I just want to win this game by, like, honestly, I would love to see this game be 28-10, 31-10.
It's the Jets.
It's the gosh darn Jets, man.
The Jets.
Benny. Benny and the Jets. Oh, you're terrible. God. Don't ever sing again.
Well, you gotta get the high notes.
Yeah, you didn't hit those either. Benny and the Jets. All right. $10 to get your sticker on the helmet, which means you are in for the raffle. Take a look. This is how many stickers we've currently got. We're about 25 to 30% filled up, maybe even closer to 33% now that we've got a couple of people that got their super chats in today. $10 super is all it costs if you want your sticker on the helmet. All right, let's get into our second one. Hopefully I don't end this one early.
Hopefully you don't end it early.
Yeah, I know. That was dumb by Moose. Now we're going to talk about Q Robinson a little bit because apparently Q might be getting on the field this week, according to... Ooh, Tony and the West. That was really dumb. I'm sorry. Tony West gets another one. Shout out to you, Tony. Go Orange Crush. Tony, you're going right next to your other sticker. Here we go. Tony and the West. There it is. Right at the top there, those top two. Shout out to you, Tony. Abigail. I knew you'd laugh at that. 24-13 is my projection for Sunday. Go Orange Crush and go Broncos. Gotta love it. Appreciate you, Tony. Thanks for jumping on. All right. Let's talk about unlocking rookie Q Robinson and why I believe he might honestly make a nice little fill-in for one injured player that doesn't look like he's going to end up playing in Jonah Ellis. Let's get into it. Is it finally time to unlock the rookie? Which rookie am I talking about? Is it Savion Jones? No, it's not Savion Jones. Is it Caleb Lohner? Nope, not him either. But one Q Robinson. Because on today's episode of Broncos Breakdown by Chat Sports, we're going to talk about what Vance Joseph had to say about Q Robinson, talking about some good practices that he's had, and maybe Q can find his way onto the field for the very first time on defense and on special teams with one key injury to one defensive player that doesn't look like he's going to end up playing. So, Q Robinson, the fourth-round pick out of the University of Alabama. That's right. I can't give a piss about nothing but the Tide, apparently, for Mr. Q Robinson. But he's a player that the Denver Broncos drafted specifically to be a complete overhaul on the special team side. Now, Zach Stevens, who is overseas right now with the Denver Broncos, said that, and I quote, Q Robinson had a great week of practices and is ready to play, per Vance Joseph. Well, if your defensive coordinator is saying that, that's obviously a great sign. He could make his NFL debut if Jonah Ellis can't play. We'll talk a little bit about Jonah Ellis and why he might not play. He missed his second straight day of practice, but predominantly orange, one of my very favorite Denver Broncos blogs said this about Q Robinson. Even though the Broncos have a top edge duo of Jonathan Cooper and Defensive Player of the Year candidate Nick Bonito, Vance Joseph likes to rotate his guys and bring waves of pass rushes throughout the course of the game. The Broncos might not give Robinson the exact workload that we've seen from Ellis this season so far, but both on defense and in special teams, he can be counted on to make plays. He is an edge defender at 6'4", 243 pounds. He's a big boy. He has outstanding quickness off the snap and a really strong overall arsenal of moves to win as a pass rusher. He was consistently named a standout throughout the course of training camp and the preseason. The defensive coordinator, Vance Joseph, said he's had a great week of practice. So this all because Jonah Ellis looks like he's most likely not going to play this week against the New York Jets. I'm completely fine with that. If he's dealing with a rib injury, which I believe is what the diagnosis actually said, I'm okay against the Jets not playing him. Let him rest up. We're going to need him later on as the season goes on, especially when you play teams like the Houston Texans, when you play good offenses like the Dallas Cowboys, the Kansas City Chiefs, the Green Bay Packers later on this season. But missing 2 days worth of practice usually is not a good sign. I mean, anything can happen if Ellis says he's ready to go tomorrow or on Saturday. Okay, maybe you activate him and you play him on a, limited basis. But he and Ben Powers are the only ones that have shown up on the Broncos injury report as DNPs. Now, this could be a sign of rest, like I said. However, usually it indicates that something's going on, and it's not a good sign. But that doesn't mean that he's going to be out for an extended period of time. It just means they're probably most likely going to keep him out for this London game, which is where our friend Q Robinson comes in. This, in my opinion, could be the very best welcome to the NFL moment. Why? You're across the seas, primetime game, albeit in the morning, against a very, very bad team. If there was one offense that you'd probably want to make your NFL debut against and have success, it would most likely be the New York Football Jets, because they stink. And later on this episode, I'm going to explain to you more about how they absolutely stink and how this Denver Broncos defense can actually kind of separate itself even further from the rest of the NFL. Now, before I do that, I got to tell you, should Q Robinson get the start versus the Jets as a player that has all of those traits, as someone that can do it on special teams and on the defensive side of the ball? I think yes, why not? I don't think you play him 40 snaps, but maybe somewhere around 10 to 12, maybe 15 at the most snaps. Why not? Let him get in there. Throw him a couple of blitzes. Just see if he can get after the quarterback. At some point, you're going to have to put him on the field. You drafted him in the 4th round for a reason. It's not to sit the bench for the entire year. Maybe the first couple of weeks, like I get that from Sean Payton, likes to gradually indoctrinate his rookies. And let's be honest, you're playing behind some really elite players. But Q Robinson, I believe, can absolutely make a contribution to this team, not only on the defensive side of the ball, but especially on special teams. And that's the main reason they drafted him. So like I said, coming up, the Broncos D can further separate from the rest of the NFL. But before we do that, I've got to tell you about today's presenting sponsor, and that is our friends over at Tushy. Look, I've called a lot of people a-holes on this specific show, but now that stings a little bit less now that I've used a bidet. Let me tell you about our friends at Tushy, because as much as you're thinking right now to yourself, why is he talking to me about toilets? Well, it's not a toilet. It is a bidet. And our friends at Tushy have some really, really great products. Tushy is the everyday luxury bidet that instantly transforms your bathroom habits into bottom health for life. Using a Tushy bidet means you leave the bathroom cleaner than when you walked in. Let's get into it. Every Tushy bidet easily attaches to your existing toilet without the need for additional plumbing. Instead of wiping endlessly with toilet paper, Tushy pristinely removes 99% of bacteria while protecting your natural skin barrier thanks to one natural ingredient: fresh water. And by the way, every Hello Tushy bidet comes with a 30-day hassle-free return and a 12-month warranty. Remember, a-hole is only a dirty word if you wipe. For a limited time, our listeners get 10% off their first bidet order when you use code CHAT at checkout. That's 10% off your first bidet order at hellotushy.com with promo code CHAT. And don't be like a Raiders fan and think that your life is as crappy as it is. All you have to do is go to hellotushy.com with promo code CHAT. We'll put all of that in the live chat and the comments and description of today's video. First of all, shout out to this guy right here who won the AFC Player of the Week, Mr. Nick Bonito. God, this dude is good. Like, I think you're realistically looking at the next coming of Von Miller. I really, really mean that. And also, he is on pace right now, just a little FYI, to break the NFL record for sacks in a season. I'm just going to let that sit where it is. So let's continue on with the episode and talk a little bit about the Jets and why this is probably the biggest mismatch the Broncos will face all year. The line mismatch, and I'm not talking about the betting line, I'm talking about the offensive line for the Jets and the defensive line for the Denver Broncos. It's insane. It's the best pass rush in the NFL against the worst offensive line in the NFL. This is literally like playing basketball if you're LeBron James against a bunch of 6th graders. That's it. That's all I can say about it. The Jets' O-line has a 50% pressure rate on their snaps, their offensive snaps. That's dead last in the NFL. Okay, that stinks. But what else about the Jets is really, really bad? Well, I'm glad you asked, Jets fan that came in here, even though you guys know. The New York Jets have a no blitz pressure rate, meaning when teams don't blitz, they still give up 42.7% pressure rate. That's dead last in the NFL. Their rush stuff rate. So how many times does their offensive line allow opposing defensive lines to stuff their runs? 17.6% of the time. That's 21st in the NFL. And they have an explosive play rate on offense of 5.0%, which is 19th in the NFL. And a good chunk of that is a Justin Fields scramble. Oh, and by the way, in case you didn't know, the Denver Broncos lead the NFL in sacks. Again, 21 to 16, might I add, being the second highest, which the Detroit Lions, I've watched a couple of their tapes. Their pass rush looks outstanding this year. And the Broncos have 5 more sacks than that. What does that tell you? This Broncos defensive line, this pass rush is all time. Pat Surtain was not joking when he said this could be an all-time defense because it really, really can. They've only given up 6 total touchdowns this year in 5 games. Just think about that for a second. Let's talk Justin Fields for a minute. Look, when Justin Fields got drafted by the Chicago Bears, I was actually a big Fields guy. I thought for a long time that he was going to be an explosive playmaker, and it just kind of turns out that while he's an amazing athlete, he just doesn't see the field well at all. I mean, this is a guy that is the definition of great athlete, bad quarterback. Doesn't see the field well. He's a one-read, play design quarterback. If the play is for Garrett Wilson, he can deliver the ball on time and on target. But when he has to go through his progressions, he just can't do it. And right now, because of their lack of talent at the wide receiver position, he's just a dink and dunk quarterback. It's like 3-yard dump off, 5-yard slant, 5-yard check down. I mean, non-stop. Listen to any talking head across the NFL. They'll tell you the exact same thing. He does have unreal athleticism to scramble, though. He's probably the best scrambling quarterback in the NFL. But with how bad his offensive line has been, with how he doesn't have any singular good weapon at wide receiver outside of Garrett Wilson, he is doing that more than ever. Like, if Garrett Wilson's not open, Justin Fields is essentially just, okay, I'm going to take off. And you'll see that a couple of times this week against the Broncos. He will burn you for a first down. He's just too good not to. However, outside of that, if you force him to play quarterback, if you limit him to the pocket, he cannot beat you. He's just not good enough. So that's my little diagnosis on the Jets offense. Not good on paper or in practicality. It's not pragmatic. It's not good on paper. It's just bad. So do me a favor, predict the score of Jets versus Broncos for me. Get down in the live chat if you are watching during our live show. But if you are watching during our regularly scheduled programming, get down in the comment section. My name is Moose. That wraps up today's episode. A little bit about Q, a little bit about the New York Jets offense, how bad it is. And as always, Broncos country, mile high salute to you. Be cool. $10 super chat from our boy Odd F. And he sent in €1. Look at that. That's not even regular American money. He's going international with it. Odd F, who says, I'll be at the game this weekend, and I hope for a PS2 or Baron Pick 6. Let's go Broncos country. By the way, I love the t-shirt, Moose. Shout out to you, my friend. I got more coming in. The first Broncos Moose Unchained. This is Broncos Unchained, by the way, from Mr. Bossman J, who's probably watching right now. Shout out to Bossman J and Broncos Unchained. If you want to go check them out, they have some really cool stuff.
Is that supposed to be a moose?
That is a moose.
Oh, it's supposed to be you.
It's a moose.
It's you.
God, Patriots fans, I swear to God.
I wasn't even thinking about it.
Nope. Everybody boo Alper. Everybody boo Alper. His Patriots are showing. Boo!
I didn't even realize it was supposed to be a moose.
What did you think it was?
I don't know, a bronco.
Does this look like a horse to you?
I've never really stared at your
Good
chest.
Good God.
Yeah, I'm staring at Moose's chest.
Staring at his chest.
Ooh.
All righty. Reminder, you can be like Odd F, our boy Tony, our boy Cornbread. If you want to get on the helmet, all you got to do is send in a $10 super chat and you will be in to win this helmet. So if you want to be in to win, you got to be on the helmet, if that makes sense. $10 is all it costs before the end of today's live stream.
We need more questions.
We need a lot more questions. Get your hashtag Broncos in right now. Come on now. That is ridiculous.
It's redonkulous.
The back of your head is ridiculous. Everybody's booing. Tony! Coming in with the 10.
Uh-oh.
Shout out to you, Tony. Abigail Tony.
We have one question.
One question?
That's all I see.
One.
That's all I see.
Guys, come on. I mean, Tony just got his question, and that'll be a question that we answer. But
I see just one from Pinky. Pinky.
Pinky and the Brain.
Pretty sure I can scroll.
Benny. Shout out to you, Tony. I put your third sticker up on there for you. That's a great question. We will answer that, by the way, front and center in the mailbag today.
Yep, just making sure it's not messed up.
We're on pace right now. Get this. The 1975 Bears, or is that the 85 Bears?
1985 Bears?
Maybe it's the 85 Bears. Either way, their record was 72 sacks in one season. The Broncos are on pace right now for 71.
74.
Who said that? Was it him?
One question.
One question. Guys, hashtag Broncos. We cannot get to our mailbag until you guys start using hashtag Broncos and getting your questions in.
Bossman Jay's wife.
Shout out to you, Lauren.
All right, we now have 3 questions. No, we have 2 questions.
Jaleel and a third rounder for Sauce Gardner is insane work, but I don't mind the question.
There we go, Cornbread.
Way to go, Cornbread. Oh, yeah, it is 85. Yeah. Okay, so, yeah, you're fine. 85 Bears. The Broncos are on pace right now to have 71 sacks. So they're one behind. You'd need to have like another 5 or 6 against the Jets, which you very easily could. Honestly, I could see the Broncos having 8 sacks.
Ninja Plops, you gotta ask a question with that.
SpongeBob, you gotta ask him a question first.
Oh, yeah.
What color is my underwear?
Dr. Checkmate. There we go.
There we go, Dr. Checkmate. Shout out to you, brother. And Ninja Plop says, damn. Always fucking with a brother.
Can PS2 become the best cornerback of all time? Well, he'd have to be better than Christian Gonzalez.
He is way better than Christian Gonzalez.
No.
Dude, see, now here's the thing. I know you like to rage bait.
I'm not rage baiting. That is 100%.
That is not, you're not even close to correct. Pat Surtain is the best cornerback in the NFL, and it isn't close.
It's very close.
No, it's not.
It's very close.
No, it's not.
It's very close.
Has Christian Gonzalez ever won Defensive Player of the Year? I don't want to hear it.
This is his third season.
The next best corner in the league besides PS2 is Derek Stingley.
He sucks this
No,
year.
he does not.
He sucks this year. He has been
Jordan Lewis has
way
been better
bad.
than Christian Gonzalez.
That's just not
Your
true.
guy can't even stay on the field.
He's played the last 2 games.
He's not playing this next game.
He is.
Lamar, you got to get your hashtag Broncos in there, brother.
It's PS2 and Gonzo are the 2 best corners in the league.
What's your thoughts on Drake May and Brady comparison right now? It's stupid as hell.
It's very stupid. Even I can admit that.
It's very stupid. They're not even close to the same
Can we
player.
steal Cam Little as in the kicker?
Yes. From the Jags. That dude's got a huge leg. His name might be Little, but he's got a really big leg. Do we move Hafunga to inside linebacker and Barron to starting safety? It's not a bad idea.
We're getting some more questions.
Kevin, get your hashtag Broncos in there, brother.
1, 2.
Buckle my shoe. Oh, my God. Do you think Jarrett Stidham could start for any team right now? Not
Maybe.
any team, but a lot of teams.
Maybe the Bengals.
The Bengals he could start for.
I don't know about anybody else.
Who else could he start? He could start for the Raiders. He can start for the Raiders right now. Dude, Geno Smith blows.
I know. I hate Jared Stidham.
What would it take to have Moss move to safety and Barron to cornerback? All right, these are some good questions. All right, we're good. I think we got enough.
Yeah, we definitely have enough.
All right, let's go. Should have been gone, knowing how I made you feel. Well, I should have been gone. Finish it, Broncos country. Oh, Sherry. All right, you ready?
Please shrink it, brother. Don't add the space between the hashtag and the Broncos.
Man, we are struggling with hashtag Broncos today. All right, let's do this. Let's get into our mailbag. Yep. Welcome in, Broncos country, to our mailbag episode, answering the most pressing Denver Broncos questions from Broncos fans like you to me, another Denver Broncos fan. And this is, of course, right before our Week 6 matchup in London, Governor, against the New York Jets. And they are a complete dumpster fire. The Broncos currently are at a 6.5 spread. I think it'll be worse than that, in my honest and humble opinion. But you cannot take any single game lightly. However, I think it should be interesting to note the Denver Broncos have won 2 games in a row. One against the Cincinnati Bengals on Monday Night Football, and then the next one against the Philadelphia Eagles. If you want to get the winning streak started, and you're watching during our live show, or you're watching during our regularly scheduled programming, type your threes in the comment section right now. I want to see as many threes as possible to get the winning streak started. Let's start our mailbag episode with the $10 super chat from our guy, Tony. 24-13 is my projection for Sunday. Go Orange Crush 2.0. This has the ability to be an all-time defense. I am right there with you for sure, Tony. 24-13, in my opinion, feels a little closer than it should. I'm going to say my official prediction for the score, 27-10. That'll be mine. I'll add a field goal for the Broncos and subtract one for the New York Jets. But appreciate you getting in your $10 super chat, as always, my friend. Another one from Tony coming in with that $10 super chat. We're going back-to-back Tonys. Do you think the Denver Broncos can break the all-time single sack record held by the 1985 Bears? 72. The Broncos have 21 sacks. That is 4.2 per game. That is on pace for 71. So, yes, I do think the Broncos can absolutely do that. Nick Bonito looks like he's going to have 17 by himself. But I will say this. You got to continue to rack them up, especially against really bad offensive lines like the New York Jets, who are dead last in a multitude of categories. All right. Thank you, Tony, for getting on the show. We appreciate it. Coming in with our next question, Mr. Pinky up. When Greenlaw comes back, who would you rather have next to him, Singleton or Stranad? Probably Singleton. Singleton's a better playmaker than Stranad, but Singleton's really bad in pass coverage, like really, really bad. I'd still go Singleton, but if Singleton continues to struggle in pass coverage, I might go the opposite. I might go Justin Stranad. Honestly, I don't know why we haven't activated Lavelle Bailey. I really don't. I think Lavelle Bailey is an excellent linebacker. I would love to see him play later on this season. Thanks, Pinky, for getting in on everything. Tony Decker, what would it take to have Moss move to safety and Barron to the outside cornerback position? Well, if you went and checked out my most recent video about benching Riley Moss, which got a lot of crazy comments from a bunch of different Broncos fans, I would say this. I don't think he's big enough or strong enough to play safety. I think the only other place that you could move him would be that inside nickel corner spot, but even then, I think that's a harder position to play than that outside cornerback position. So, honestly, if you were going to bench Riley, you'd probably have to bring him in as a rotational corner. So in case you wanted to play majority of snaps for Barron on the outside, but then move Barron back to the nickel corner every so often, you could end up bringing Riley back in for a couple of plays here and a couple of plays there. Appreciate it, Tony. Cornbread. How would you start off the game against the Jets? Run, and run a little bit more. J.K. Dobbins' legacy game. I want to see more than 100 yards rushing from J.K. Dobbins. The New York Jets are 27th in the league in rushing yards allowed per game. So they don't have any good things going for them on the defensive line. They've got one good corner in Sauce Gardner. I would really, really love to see the Broncos establish the run early, kind of like how they did against the Cincinnati Bengals on Monday Night Football. I think this is almost an identical game where you can really establish the run quickly and get off to an early lead. Chase, can PS2 become the best cornerback of all time? Well, in my opinion, the best cornerback of all time, and this is just my opinion, the best cornerback of all time is Darrelle Revis, who coincidentally played for the Jets for the longest time. So yes, I do believe PS2 can become the best cornerback of all time. He's not there yet. He's got to come a long, long way. However, there is a possibility. You never want to say never. Another defensive player of the year, another couple of years of being locked down, and maybe he gets into the conversation. Literally Vance. I wonder if this is actually Vance Joseph talking about himself. How likely is it that Vance Joseph gets a head coaching job in 2026? Oh, I was hoping nobody would ask this question. I don't want to think about this. I really don't. But because you asked the question, I'll indulge. It's very likely at this point. I take no pleasure in saying that because I think Vance Joseph, since he's taken over the defensive coordinator position, outside of that 2023 season, has been fantastic. So going back to the beginning of last year up until now, with the right personnel, you can clearly see how good he is at calling plays. I mean, just take a look at what they rank in 2025 alone. Total sacks, 21. That's first in the NFL. Explosive play rate allowed, 4.7. That's sixth best in the NFL. Pressure rate in general, third best at 44.5%. And the no blitzes and pressure rates, meaning when when the Broncos don't blitz, they still get almost nearly as much pressure as they do when they blitz. That's also third in the NFL. So, again, I don't want to think about him moving on, but there are a lot of head coaches right now in the NFL that are currently on the hot seat. Here's 5 of them right out of the gate. Mike McDaniel for the Dolphins, Brian Callahan for the Titans, Kevin Stefanski, Dable, and Canales. All 5 of these teams have had really bad starts to their 2025 season, and all 5 coaches are 100% on the hot seat. And look, Broncos fans, you should not be naive to this fact whatsoever. Vance Joseph got a shot with the Broncos a lot earlier on in his coaching tenure. It didn't work out, but I'm sure he wants one more redemption shot as being a head coach. And maybe if that doesn't work out, maybe he comes back to the Broncos and ends up being the all-time defensive coordinator until he's ready to retire. But at this point, I'm sure VJ wants his shot at being a head coach one more time. So that's why if I ask you this question, I'm penciling in my yes. If you're watching during our live show, let me know in the comment section down below if VJ will get a head coaching gig in 2026. I think it's almost pretty much guaranteed that he will. Now, before we get on with more about our questions from you, Denver Broncos fans, we got to say a little quick thank you to our friends over at Prize Picks. You and I make decisions every single day, but on Prize Picks, being right can actually get you paid. Don't miss any of the excitement this football season on Prize Picks, where it is good to be right. You can now follow other Prize Picks players directly on the app and copy their lineups in just one click, whether it's a friend or a celebrity partner like producer Alper on the ones and twos, or just someone whose picks you like. Hit that follow button and check out every lineup they create in the new feed tab on Prize Picks. I made a lineup just for you in week 6. And of course, I had to throw a little J.K. Dobbins in there as well, and the more in the rushing yards. Jalen Hurts, Drake May, and Dak Prescott. Like I said, I'm a glutton. I love the more. Yours can look completely different than mine. It can look exactly like mine. All you got to do is download the Prize Picks app today. Use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It is good to be right. All of that in the comments and description of today's video. Devontae, should we get Jacoby Myers? Imagine him in our system with Court. It would be sick. It would be unbelievable, my friend. It really would. However, say it out loud. The Las Vegas Raiders trade Jacoby Myers to the Denver Broncos. Does it even sound correct to you? The Raiders would rather put Geno Smith up for adoption and quite literally fire Pete Carroll, fire John Spytek, fire their entire team before they did a trade with the Denver Broncos. I don't see it happening, at least not in 2025. However, to indulge your question, yes, it would feed families. Jacoby Myers is an excellent player, I believe. Broncos Unchained. Do we move Talanoa Hufanga to inside linebacker and Barron to strong safety? It's not a bad idea. Look, Hufanga's a hard-hitting dude. You could move him onto the inside linebacker position and just kind of let him roam around the middle of the field. He's got much better coverage skills than any linebacker you've got in your room currently. The only problem I worry with is Jahdae Barron to safety. And the reason I say that is not because he's incapable of playing the position, because he did play it in college a little bit. It's the fact that he's not big enough. He'd have to put on about 5 to 10 pounds if you really wanted to start rotating him into that position. He's a good tackler. He's a willing run defender. I think he's got a lot of really good characteristics to play safety. But put on 5 to 10 pounds and then come talk to me. Outside of that, it's a really interesting statistic and a really interesting hypothetical. Canadian EH, and then we'll do one more after this and we'll get on out of here. When do the Broncos make a move for a good left guard? Well, we have a good left guard. His name is Ben Powers. He's just on the short-term IR right now until December with that bicep injury. But if you're asking, like, in replace of him right now, I don't think you need to. I think Alex Palczewski is going to do a great job. Palcho's a great, plug-and-play left guard or offensive lineman. He can kind of do a bunch of stuff. If he starts to struggle, I know that Brandon Scherf is an available name that you could go after. Didn't he announce his retirement, Producer Rappler? Yeah, I think he announced his retirement. But if you called him up and said, hey, do you want to make a quick $1 million? He'd probably be like, sure, I'll get back onto the team. And maybe a chance to win a Super Bowl ring. But I appreciate your question. Last one from our guy, Lamar. What up, Lamar? Should they try to go after Isaiah Simmons? I did see that... who was the team that worked him out? It was recent. The Steelers. The Steelers worked out Isaiah Simmons. So he's being worked out by teams right now. The Steelers are interested in signing him. I would love Isaiah Simmons on this team. I think he is an athletic machine, a freak, somebody who has got such jump-off-the-wall traits. He's not good in coverage, so he'd kind of be like another Alex Singleton. But, man, could you put him next to Alex Singleton for right now? Like, you'd have some really, really good run stoppers. I don't know. Come back to me in about a week. We'll see if we'll make another video. That's going to do it for us on today's episode. Our mailbag coming at you. Appreciate everybody who got their questions in Broncos country. We will see you tomorrow for our very nice watch party against the New York Jets. Get ready to get that W back in the win column. As always, a little mile high salute to you. Be cool. Cool.
Oh, I see Bossman Jay in the chat.
Boss man. Rocking the Broncos Unchained shirt today from Bossman Jay. Check out Broncos Unchained if you want a really sweet new idea and different way of thinking about the Denver Broncos. They've got their own stuff going on. They've also got some sweet merch and some energy teas if you want to check those out as well.
With a moose.
The moose. The moose is on fire. Honest question for everybody that's still watching right now. I want to see as many answers on this as possible. If Bossman Jay made me another one like this, would you be interested in having this as a raffle item? Would you want me to give this away to like the highest bidder or something like that? Let me know. Because you got to go check it out at Broncos Unchained, by the way. Like, he makes cool stuff like this all the time. But would you be interested in getting a Moose Broncos Unchained shirt?
Could I get a Patriots Unchained?
I don't care. No. Alper, no. Tony says yes. Tony. Tony says yes. Tony. Abigail.
Tony.
Dr. Chetmake says yes. Okay, maybe we will. Maybe we will give away a Broncos Unchained Moose shirt. As long as Boss Man Jay is in, he's the one that makes them. I don't make them. All credit goes to Broncos Unchained. Wearing a Denver helmet. Cornbread. All right. It is 5:07. We'll give you 3 more minutes to get your last stickers on the helmet. $10. Just $10. 3 more minutes and we are ending today's stream. If you want to get your sticker on the helmet, it costs just $10.
$10. $10.
$10. Ooh.
You can't even get a meal at Chick-fil-A for $10.
Oh, dude, Chick-fil-A sounds so good right now. I know you love Chick-fil-A.
I love me some Chick-fil-A.
I also want to know what I should have for dinner. I'm deciding right now between the Chili's Triple Dipper or...
Well, you had Culver's yesterday and you didn't tell me.
Oh, dude, I
was so mad.
Bossman Jay says only if you autograph it. I'd autograph it. I might give it away. Shout out to Bossman Jay and Broncos Unchained. If you guys want to get your Moose shirt, all you got to do is go directly to them.
Where is a Culver's?
The one I went to is by my house in Rockwall. Yeah.
I need to take a trip to your place.
It's a 45-minute drive to go Culver's.
I'll steal a car.
Do you really like Culver's that much?
I love Culver's.
Do you? I didn't know that. I mean, the Butterburgers are outstanding.
The Butterburger with a Butterburger and fries with a side of 2 buffalo tenders, and then you also get a concrete or whatever they want to call it.
Yeah, it's a concrete mixer.
Yeah,
that's what they call it.
Yeah,
it's really good.
Oh my god.
We had the flavor of the day yesterday. You know what it was? Oreo mint explosion. It was mint ice cream with Oreo and fudge. 9 out of 10. It was excellent. Dr. Checkmate says a Chili's Triple Dipper sound. Dude, I'm telling you. I woke up thinking about a Chili's Triple Dipper today.
Never had Chili's.
You've never had Chili's?
Nope.
Dude, that is a crime.
There wasn't one in Delaware.
And Chili's baby back ribs.
We had TGI Fridays
baby
and
back.
Applebee's. There was no Chili's anywhere near where I was
You had a
from.
TGI. Dude, TGI Fridays is gross.
Yeah, we had TGI Fridays.
It's Chili's, Applebee's, and then everything else.
I never had Chili's. And even in Kentucky.
Yeah, boss man, I said we play the Jets tomorrow because that episode, the mailbag, will go out on Saturday. That's why.
Thinking ahead of the time, boss man Jay. The floating voice. Floating.
Oh, yeah, baby. Put that up on screen. Shout out to Lauren.
How many ways can you spell my last name wrong? That should be a challenge.
Boo Alper. Because he sucks. He's never had... Yeah, Dr. Checkmate says, of course he hasn't had Chili's. He's a Patriots fan. Shout out to every Broncos fan that makes fun of Alper. Chili's baby back rib. Dude, Chili's is unbelievable. You have to get Chili's in your life.
When am I going to go?
Literally whenever. Tonight.
Where?
There are so many Chili's around the Dallas area. Are you kidding?
Give me Culver's first.
Dude, I do love Culver's. I'm not going to lie. Last night I drove by and I called Alexis and I was like, do you want Culver's? And she was like, oh my God, yes. Here's your 10, Boo Alper. I put you on the helmet, Lauren. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. All right. I think that might do it for us. Shout out to Boss Man, everybody that sent in their 10s. Are you kidding? I purposely told her to spell his name wrong. Oh, yeah.
She still spelled it. I mean, it's still wrong.
Appler. Appler.
Devontae, I lived in Lexington and Bowling Green. I went to school out there. I'm from Delaware.
All right. Sounds good. We got 67 people still watching, though. Maybe they want to hear us talk a little bit more about Chili's baby back ribs. All right, cool. By the way, Thursday Night Football tonight, the Eagles against the Giants. I would expect the Eagles to come out being fired up that they lost to you-know-who.
Yeah, I'm probably just going to watch baseball.
I'm going to watch a little bit of both. The Cubs play at 8 o'clock, and I'm probably going to switch back and forth. All right, that's going to do it for us on today's episode. Thank you to every single Broncos fan that showed up today. We greatly appreciate it. Remember, $10. Tyrone. Oh, nice little $2 super chat from Tyrone there. We don't have to put it up on screen, but shout out to you, Tyrone. He says, Riley must go. Look, at this point, I'm going to stand on my ground. I'm going to say that Riley Moss is
benched.
I mean, benched is the wrong word, though. Like, should he lose his outside cornerback to starting privileges? Should it be Jahdae Barron? In my opinion, yes, it should. But I don't know. I'm not the coach. I'm not Sean Payton. I'm not Vance Joseph, so I can't make that decision. Appreciate y'all for jumping in today on the show. We greatly appreciate everything and everybody that sent in a super chat. We will see you guys on Sunday against the New York Jets. A mile-high salute to all of you. Be cool.